Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to this celebration of the Wesak Festival, which is held at the time of the full moon in the solar sign of Taurus. So let's begin by gathering ourselves together from different parts of the world. Let's create a field of communion. And we do so by becoming quiet, relaxing the physical body, letting go of any tensions. Bringing our emotional body to a state of calmness. And freeing our mind of all extraneous thought so that it becomes clear and free. And we become aware of the breath. As we breathe in the power of life and breathe out the blessing of love. Breathing in life, breathing out love. And we sense our many breaths synchronizing so that we breathe as one. And then our particular field of communion, our particular group, is one of many thousands around the world joined at this time for the Wesak festival. So let us visualize our group linked by lines of lighted energy to all these other groups around the planet, forming this matrix into which the blessings of the Buddha will be pouring in the coming hour. Thank you. So before we begin the explanation, just remind people if you want to have either a bowl or a glass of water with you, because we will be participating in the water ceremony, because the Buddha's blessings magnetize the water. So Wesak is a festival of light, and it's when the Buddha descends into the sphere of earth. And for a period of 8 minutes, he pours forth will and light energy into the etheric planes of earth. So during this Taurus full moon, we are stimulated, and there is a heightened spiritual stimulation. And the Taurian eye of the bull is called the eye of vision. And this is reflected in the spiritual motto of this sign. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. So the Festival of Wesak today follows the Easter Festival of Resurrection that happened in Aries, and it precedes the Festival of Goodwill in Gemini. And it uniquely observes both a historical occurrence and a present living event. So many of you know the story. Over 2,600 years ago, as a student of the Upanishads and the Vedas, Prince Siddhartha Gautama was moved by compassion to search by every means possible for the cause of and remedy to human misery and suffering. And as a result of his singleness of purpose and selfless strivings, he attained Buddhic consciousness. He achieved enlightenment and earned the title of Buddha, the Enlightened One. And ever since his great achievement at the exact time of the Taurus solar festival, which is today, through an act of great sacrifice and love for humanity, he returns from his high place to bring light and blessings to our long-suffering planet. So in cooperation with other guides and watchers of our Earth's evolution, he seeks to increase the flow of light into our world and throw the light of wisdom, experience, and understanding into human minds, inspiring us to move forward into greater light and a broadened consciousness. And we know the Four Noble Truths. This is what the Buddha gave us. And these Four Noble Truths reveal the causes of human trouble and point to a remedy. And his message can be paraphrased in the following words that also resonate significantly for our times. And here they are. Cease to identify yourselves with material things. Gain a proper sense of the spiritual values. Cease regarding possessions and earthly existence as of major importance, and follow the noble eightfold path, which is the path of right relations to God and to each other, and thus be happy. So that's what Buddha has handed down to us. And because the Buddha achieved full enlightenment, he indicates the way for those who still suffer and who are aggrieved. And his message is very reassuring. It's an eternal message, and it's just as applicable today as it was when he first enunciated his Four Noble Truths. And these truths we know, which when practiced lead to enlightenment, resulting in the cessation of suffering, the increase of compassion, and therefore create a world of greater stability and tranquility. Now, the Ageless Wisdom teachings tells us that the entire secret of divine purpose and planning is hidden in this sign of Taurus, owing fundamentally to the present-day relationship existing among the Pleiades, the constellation of the Great Bear, and our solar system. And these energies constitute one of the most important triangles in our entire cosmic series of relationships, enhanced by the fact that the eye of the bull of God, as mentioned earlier, is the eye of revelation and vision. So the eye of vision of the individual must likewise open in response to this cosmic light. Hence, victory is inevitable because the potency of cosmic energy will unfailingly and in time subdue and reorient the energy of humanity. So the emphasis in Taurus is upon struggle, cosmic, planetary, and individual struggle. The struggle for the desire will which underlies the manifested activities of all life and forms. So this is the struggle of that which is deeply hidden in darkness to reach the light of day. It's the struggle of the hidden soul to dominate and control the outer form. It's the struggle to transmute desire into aspiration and aspiration into the will to achieve. It is the struggle to attain the goal which an increasing light reveals. Thus, humanity as a whole, and each of us individually, must choose our own path of liberation. So in preparation for our meditation, let me recount for you the legend of Wesak. And this is a legend that we tell each year all around the world. There is a valley lying at a rather high altitude in the foothills of the Himalayan Tibet ranges. It is surrounded by high mountains on all sides except towards the northeast, where there is a narrow opening in the mountain ranges. The valley is, therefore, bottle-shaped in contour, with the neck of the bottle to the northeast, and it widens very considerably towards the south. Up towards the northern end, close to the neck of the bottle, there is to be found a huge flat rock, There are no trees or shrubs in the valley, which is covered with a kind of coarse grass, but the sides of the mountain are covered with trees. Approaching the time of the full moon of Taurus, pilgrims from all the surrounding districts begin to gather. The holy men and lamas find their way into the valley and fill the southern and middle parts, leaving the northeastern end relatively free. There, so the legend runs, gathers a group of those great beings who are the custodians on earth of God's plan for our planet and for humanity. This group of knowers of divinity are the main participants in the Wesak festival. They range themselves in the northeastern end of the valley and in concentric circles, and they prepare themselves for a great act of service. In front of the rock, looking towards the northeast, stand those beings who are called by the disciples the three great lords. These are the Christ, who stands in the center, the Lord of living forms, called the Manu, who stands on his right, and the Lord of civilization, who stands on his left. These three face the rock upon which rests a great crystal ball full of water. Those present in their physical bodies have found their way by ordinary means. Others are present in their spiritual bodies and in their dream state. The dream, which they later relate, has been uniformly registered by people throughout the world and bears the testimony to the recollection of an inner spiritual happening. As the hour of the full moon approaches, a stillness settles down upon the crowd, and all look towards the northeast. Certain ritualistic movements take place in which the group masters and their disciples of all ranks take up symbolic positions and create well-known formations, all of which have a deep and potent meaning. This is all done to the sound of certain chanted words and esoteric phrases called mantrams. The expectancy in the waiting, onlooking crowd becomes very great, and the tension is real and increasing. Through the entire body of people, there seems to be felt a stimulation or potent vibration which has the effect of awakening the souls of those present, fusing and blending the group into one united whole and lifting all into a great act of spiritual demand, readiness, and expectancy. It is the climax of the world's aspiration focused in this waiting group. These three words, demand, readiness, and expectancy, best describe the atmosphere surrounding those present in this secret valley. The chanting and the rhythmic weaving grow stronger, and all raise their eyes towards the sky in the direction of the narrow part of the valley. A few minutes before the exact time of the full moon, in the far distance, a tiny speck can be seen. It comes nearer and grows in clarity and definiteness of an outline until the form of the Buddha can be seen, seated in the cross-legged Buddha position, clad in his saffron-colored robe, bathed in light and color, and with his hand extended in blessing. When he arrives at a point exactly over the great rock, hovering there in the air over the heads of the three great lords, a great mantram used only once a year at the festival is intoned by the Christ, and the entire group of people in the valley fall upon their faces. This invocation sets up a great vibration or thought current, which is of such potency that it reaches up from the group of aspirants, disciples, and initiates who employ it to the being whom we know as God. It marks the supreme moment of intensive spiritual effort throughout the entire year, and the spiritual vitalization of humanity, and the spiritual effects last throughout the succeeding months. The effect of this great invocation is universal or cosmic, and serves to link us up with that cosmic center of spiritual energy from which all created beings have come. The blessing of the Buddha is poured forth, and the Christ, as the world teacher and representative of humanity, receives it in trust for distribution. And the legend continues that the Buddha returns once a year to bless the world, transmitting through the world teacher renewed spiritual life. Slowly then, the Buddha recedes into the distance until again only a faint speck can be seen in the sky, and this eventually disappears. The whole ceremonial blessing from the time of the first appearance in the distance until the moment the Buddha fades out of view takes just 8 minutes. And just as an aside, it also takes 8 minutes from the light of the sun to reach the earth, so there's some correlation there. So the legend continues. When the Buddha has again disappeared, the crowd rises to their feet. The water in the bowl is distributed in tiny portions to the masters, initiates, and disciples, and then they go their way to their place of service. And the crowd, who have all brought their little cups and vessels of water, drink from them and share with others. In this beautiful water ceremony of communion, we have preserved for us in symbol an indication of the new age which is today upon us, the Aquarian age, the age of the water carrier. It is the age of a person bearing a pitcher of water. The water, which has been magnetized by the presence of the Buddha and of the Christ, carries certain properties and virtues of a healing and helpful nature. Thus blessed, the crowd silently disperses. The masters and disciples return with renewed strength to undertake another year of world service. So runs the ancient legend. So that's the story that's recounted every year. And throughout time, these kinds of religious festivals have been commemorations of historical events and to commemorate teachers. And as we move into the future, our understanding of religion will move away from this remembrance of things past and of spiritual teachers from antiquity and into a recognition of the livingness of the events that are occurring now. The observance of the Wesak festival is part of this shift into a sense of livingness. And although this is the festival of the Buddha, it's not the Buddha of 2,500 years ago that is being celebrated, but rather the living Buddha, and the message of healing he comes to bring to our needy world. So the Wesak ceremony is related to the massed intent of the illumined souls and the mass demand of the world seekers, which in turn is drawn forth by the collective need of the people of the world in all lands. So in this way, we can sense that there is a need that each of us has to make our own contribution to the great work of planetary redemption that's currently underway. So as we prepare to go into the meditation, please make sure, if you wish to participate, that you have a glass or a bowl of water. And in this way, we can be part of this great act of blessing as a group, together with other groups around the world, as we join with them, heart to heart to heart. And we see again Mount Kailash, called the Mountain of the Bell, that connects Gaia with the cosmos. This is the mountain that watches over this profound ceremony in the nearby valley. So let's take in the power of Kailash. It's said to be the crown chakra. This is where the light of will and love enter the earth. So with the note of the Wesak legend ringing in the ethers, and the note of the mounting of the bell ringing in the atmosphere, and with a sense of joyful expectancy in our hearts, Diana will now lead us in an exact time full moon meditation.
Hello, friends. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Meditation Mount, as a point of light on the planet. Thank you, all of you, for being with us as points of light all around the planet, where we join together as light in form, consciousness illuminated by our group endeavor, by our meditation alignment. And today is an exact time meditation at 8:31. So we're going to go into it in a moment so that we can be in the silence for about 10 minutes or more, around there, when we are in that maximum Buddhic light. So I'll say this to begin: prepare the vehicle, right? Prepare the vehicle, meaning your body self, by using your breath to already, as we're beginning to organize ourselves to the light of this very most powerful full moon and the blessings that come with it for our planet and for humanity and for ourselves too. We're all part of the humanity, right? So there's a healing here and a reorganization of the particles of the self, the particles of the planet, the particles of consciousness that are realigned and reharmonized by this Buddhic inflow. So as you're taking your seat now, you can light a candle. Maybe you already have. You have your water, which we'll have after the meditation, to be imbued with all of this light, all of this awareness. So for now, begin by starting the process of organizing the self to light, organizing yourself to the highest vibration, organizing yourself by heart so that the self is conditioned by love. The love acts like a conditioner for whatever inflow comes through. It puts, it files, it places where things, ideas, concepts which will form in the days that follow, and even in this meditation perhaps, into an alignment with the body self and the mind that you will be able to use or recognize when it's in front of you. And that's done by the heart. So begin by aligning yourself to your heart by breathing through the heart chakra gently. Just gently, softly, awakening the heart center. And as you do, feel that the emotional body come into alignment. And as you feel that heart chakra opening, sense all of the heart chakras around the planet of all conscious souls, light to light, heart to heart, connecting and connecting and connecting with all beings. And connecting to all the groups that are meditating consciously around the planet. Millions of people are aware of this full moon. And as you're Still gently breathing through the heart chakra, balancing the physical body with the breath, balancing the emotional body with the breath, balancing the mental body with the breath, taking your place as conscious soul. Still gently now breathing through the heart center, feeling the center of the mother of our earth, connected by a line of light to our planet, to the center of the heart, and from the center of the heart, allow a line of light move up into the head center now, taking your seat at the cave center, in the cave center now. And as you do already, sensing that quickening, that expectancy of illumination, and letting yourself be open to receive the blessing of the Buddha. And as I say this, feel your crown chakra open, sensing the soul. And the soul connecting into that Buddhic field now. Into that perfectly peaceful consciousness that is as pure as snow. Like crystallized light now. Open. And feel this sense, this energetic blessing, Buddhic blessing. And in these next moments, as we move into the silence, we'll use this seed thought. When the eye is open, when the eye is open, all is light. When the eye is open, all is light. In joy, I see. With love, I comprehend. When the eye is open, all is light. In joy, I see. With love, I comprehend. receiving this Buddhic light. In its purest form. Like snow, like crystallized light. Allow this awareness to be received. And as it lands in our consciousness, that these light forms become beautiful, geometrical, sacred design as they form and become and activate as we become imbued with this Buddhic light, one and the same, light to light, influenced, organized by light, by Buddhic light. I am organized by Buddhic light. Om. And just allowing this receiving so that your whole self is humming, the brain itself, as it makes impressions and eventually thoughts and ideas, as it melts and dissolves into the bloodstream and into our DNA, we become light infused, Buddhic light infused. Breathing this in and breathing this out gently. Letting it land, making yourself one with it. No resistance, just the same, light to light. And to feel it vibrationally all the way into the soles of your feet and the marrow of your bones and the cells of your body, infused with Buddhic light. We are. Using your breath then to organize yourself to this newness of you. We've changed. And you can feel the possibilities of all of this, and the potential of the unfoldment, the divine plan. Good. And then we'll use the great invocation. And you can sound it with me if you know it. Or just listen to the words. They act like an accelerator and a container for all of this that we've just done in our meditation. So after the great invocation, we'll do 3 ohms. From the point of light within the mind of God, Let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Diana. So let's stay in this atmosphere that's been charged by the power of the Buddha. And let's be aware of the ceremony in which we're participating. And we can use a synthetic image. We have gathered together, created a group communion. We have linked with other groups around the world to form this vast matrix of lighted hearts. We have joined with those in the Wesak Valley. We have witnessed the appearance of the Buddha. We have received his blessing. And now we are preparing to take that blessing out into the world. So let's return now to either the glass or the bowl of water that you have with you and complete this ceremony together. So we know that the water has now been magnetized with the light of the Buddha. And I invite us all to take 3 sips. And with each sip, there's going to be a blessing. So if you would, in your own time, just take a sip of water that has been magnetized. and feel it enter the universe of self, your own being, bringing light to every atom of your body, from the physical, the emotional, the mental, the intuitive, the more refined realms of your being. So by drinking this water, the light of the Buddha has entered the atomic structure of our incarnated self. And the frequency of our atoms is raised. And slowly we begin to emit light. The higher the frequency, the more light we emit and transmit. And now we take a second sip of water. And as we do so, we sense and see all life on earth filled with the light of the Buddha. All lives, both visible and invisible, charged with the light of the Buddha. So the atoms of Gaia begin to vibrate at a higher frequency, and our planet increases its capacity to transmit and to radiate light. And let us take a third and final sip of the water. And this time, we experience ourselves as a lighted atom. The planet, Gaia, is a lighted atom inside the vast body of the cosmos, visible and invisible. And as we sense our place in the greater scheme of things, we realize that all is light, all is love. And that we are partaking in this great mystery that we call the one life in revelation, the one life in manifestation through all its many parts. So as we bring ourselves back, we can take 3 sips of water every morning or before we go to bed, just to remind us that inside of each one of us is a lighted universe, and that we are part of a lighted planet, and the planet itself is part of a greater lighted being that we call the manifested universe. So may each of us be this bearer of light, messengers of light, as we go out into the world. And the next 2 days after the exact full moon are called the days of distribution. And this is the time when we distribute the light we've received. So this is what it means to be part of this great circulation of blessing, this great chain of blessing. We receive the outpourings of the Buddha, we take it in, it fills us with light, and then we breathe it out in everything we do, every encounter. So deep gratitude for this gathering, for coming together to celebrate the Wesak festival, which charges us with spiritual energy to take us through the year. So it's like putting ourselves into the cosmic charger, and our solar batteries, our soul, is charged for another cycle of service. So, deep gratitude, and we bid you farewell, good night from Meditation Mount, and may we continue to bring light into our world in these dark times. Blessings.